I myself is struggling with the language and with the accent, so shoot me down. So overall, I am still transitioning from my old
American influence call center accent
to,
a Yorkshire North English call center English accent.
if that makes sense. Hello guys, welcome back to my channel, and in today's video we are continuing our episode for my first two videos about my UK observation video. So this is the part 3 of my UK observation video. So before we start, I'd like to introduce myself. By the way, I'm looking at the screen now because I'm monitoring my voice because I'm recording using my brand new Fifine K690 microphone, and I'm just anxious about if it's recording my voice. And at the same time, if you guys have been watching my previous vlogs, you guys know that I like to take notes of what I want to talk about, like list of topics and points that I want to include on the vlog, so just to make sure that I'm not missing anything. So yeah, so this is not a script because I think it gives me more attention if I read a script, so I might as well just read some sort of points here, or I would say topics that I want to talk about. Alright, so like I said, before I begin, I'd like to introduce myself. So my name is Noor, and I come from the Philippines originally, but I have worked in Dubai for 5 years, or in the United Arab Emirates. Then I finally moved here in the UK. So I came here in December of 2020, and I came here with a migration or settlement visa. With that being said, I didn't need to be stuck with a single employer, so I will be able to move from one job to another depending on what I like, which is actually a good thing because in Dubai I had to be with my sponsor employer, which I do not have any complaints about because they have been really good to me. But here, that's a different story. Alright, so anyway, so for today's video, I would like to talk about the third episode of my UK observation video. So if you guys haven't watched that, I'm gonna link in the description down below so you guys can check that out after this video. So this is the part 3 of that episode, or of that, I would say, clips of mine talking about random things about what I noticed since I moved here in England. Alright, one thing I want to point out as well is that every experience is different, so what I have experienced might be different from what you guys have experienced or what you guys will experience. So please don't take it against me that this is like you're gonna take my words because this is what I said, so this is how, you know, the reality of the situation here in the UK. That's not the case. And when I spoke with some colleagues here about my adjustment period, and they would always tell me that you should not base your experience in this city where I live by, you know, making it as a whole experience, or I would say stereotyping the entire Britain. So that's not good to, you know, base my experience in England by just living in a single city. So you have to take it with a grain of salt. Yeah, just a disclaimer, guys. And also, I have been getting dislikes about my videos as well. Like I said, at the end of the day, you cannot please everybody. You know, not everyone will agree with whatever you say. And for the haters, guys, you don't really have to do it. So if you don't like my videos, just don't click the dislike button, guys. Just click the like button because it's not gonna do any good to myself and also to everybody. You know, if you are doing it to me, then you might be doing it to other YouTubers as well. Just appreciate the effort that they put on editing videos and all the hard work, guys. So yeah, so, and also one of the disclaimers that I want to mention is that this is not a complaint video. So this is just an observation, guys. Again, I'm a foreigner in this land. I'm new here. I've never lived here before, and things can be strange to me, but since I came here, I have to adapt, which is what should be the things that we all need to do when we are new to, you know, a specific country, is we need to adapt and we need to get along. Alright, so anyway, guys, enough with that. So without further ado, let's get started and let's talk about random observations. Alright, guys, so here we go. So first is when you come here, of course, you have to make sure that you have all the documents processed legally. And I was lucky enough that I was able to receive my resident permit, which means that I don't really have to rely on the visa that's stamped on my passport anymore. So I'm officially a resident here. I got my resident card in January. So I applied in December, I arrived in December, and then I got the resident card in January. So I'm lucky enough to have it quicker. So since I got that, I was able to apply for a job, because applying for a job here, one thing that they will ask you immediately is if you have the right to work, and I couldn't show them that document, so I needed to wait a little bit. I needed to wait for a little bit and then be able to provide that document to them so that they can begin the recruitment process. So that's what happened. So I got my resident permit, and it's valid for 5 years, which means I have the right to work and live continuously in the UK for 5 years. Alright, so that being said, since I'm working, that means I'm already earning, so which is a benefit as well, because that's really one of the reasons why I came here, aside from, of course, living, is of course to earn money so that I will be able to buy whatever I want. I will be able to pay bills, and I will be able to help my family as well back home. Alright, next thing is I was able to process more and more documents as well. Like, for example, the insurance number. It's very important, guys, so that you will be taxed, I would say, appropriately. At the same time, you will be able to apply for a bank account, because the insurance number will, I don't know, I would say that maybe they have more visibility of your residency when you have the insurance number, because there's loads of verification before you can even get that. So I was able to get that. I think I've been waiting for 2 months to get that insurance number, and I finally got them. Alright, so next is, so since I mentioned about having a job, then you might be asking me, how did I apply for a job? Now, I did mention this on the previous episode, but then again, I want to mention that I have applied through websites and mobile applications, and I used Indeed.com and LinkedIn. They're really good sites, guys, if you want to apply. And I'm just so lucky that I got responses immediately, and I think it's based on the industry as well. So for the record, guys, I work for the call center, and they're pretty quick when it comes to responding to my application, and I was able to get interviewed immediately, and then they scheduled the final interview, and that's about it. Also, you can apply directly to the website of the company. If you know a company that is related to your field, then you might want to check if there is an option to apply to them through their websites. So yeah, just a piece of advice, guys. And of course, prepare your most updated CV or resume so that you will be ready to go when you will be scheduled for an interview. All right, so after I applied, I noticed that, like most countries as well, they do some sort of background checks, and they did that on me as well. So in my situation, since my previous employer is in Dubai, then of course they had to call my employer in Dubai, and they had to verify some other things in relation to getting a job, or in the process of accepting me as an employee, they had to verify some things, so that, I don't know, just a normal background check, guys. So yeah. And then next is, when I was filling out the form, I noticed that there is a question there about race or diversity, diversity information. So I think it's about, I don't know the purpose of that. It's not about racism, guys, but it's about them knowing your ethnicity and your, I would say, background. So yeah, I noticed that during application, which I have never seen when I applied for a job in Dubai. So it's like, for example, where you come from, what's your ethnicity, and then there's like categories: if you are white, if you are Hispanic, if you are Asian, what kind of Asian. So I found it a little bit weird, but didn't really matter to me. Maybe they just want to categorize their employees as well. I'm not sure, guys, but yeah. All right, so enough with the work side. So let's talk about my observation as a living individual here. So of course, first thing that you will definitely notice is that when you go out, the streets and also like the shops that you visit. So for the record, I have arrived here and there was some sort of a lockdown, and then it escalated. It went to level 3 and it went to level 4 where only essential shops are open, and that was really a nightmare, guys, because even like dining in or grabbing a cup of coffee was not really allowed. So there's really not so much of an entertainment or leisure purpose that you can do outside your house. So I had to stay here indoor, and which is also a good thing because I am working at home and I'm lucky enough that my employer, they have provided me all the equipment that I need. I didn't really need to go out and go on site and work. So I didn't have to, I would say, change clothes for work every day. So basically, I'm only out if I need to buy grocery items. And you cannot even buy clothes, guys. You only buying it from, let's say, for example, Tesco, because Tesco is a big shopping center where inside the grocery shop you can buy some clothes and some apparels, I would say. But of course, there's not really so much selections and brands. So I just recently experienced shopping here. I think it was like last week because of the lockdown. But I wasn't complaining, guys, because it was more of, I would say, a wake-up call for everybody in this country that you might as well just stay home so you can avoid infecting other people who are more concerned about their health situation. All right, so going to the grocery, guys, I've noticed that their chicken meat here is really nice compared to the chicken meat in Dubai. I would say it's more, I would say it's tastier. And also the fruit juices, guys, you can never go wrong with fruit juices here, because in Dubai sometimes it can get bitter. Not to bash, I'm not mentioning any brands, guys, but just an observation, guys, because you usually buy juices and then they're bitter or they can be really sweet, but here they're really nice. And also I would say the milk as well. The milk is really nice here. I'm not even sure if this is even made in the UK, but I'm not choosing any brand here anymore because everything seems to be acceptable, I would say. I mean, they're delicious and you don't get that unnecessary bitter taste. All right. And sadly, guys, I'm noticing also a lot of beggars outside and homeless people. I feel bad for them because basically it's hard to imagine that in this country where it's easier, a lot easier to work, and people are not working and they're just relying on, I don't know, benefit from asking money from people. I felt a little strange before, but now I feel like I'm used to them and just ignore like whoever's approaching me and asking for money. And I don't think it's a good idea to keep giving them, because they're just gonna think that they can just do this all day long and they can get money instantly from people across the street. So that's one thing I noticed. And also some drug addicts, guys, it can be unpredictable, but there's like people shouting at grocery shops or even across the street. So it can be scary at times. As much as possible, I would prefer going out for grocery shopping during daylight. I'm not going out if it's already like around just right after sunset, because it can be scary and risky for yourself, because there's a lot of bad people out there that you cannot avoid. No matter how you take care of yourself, if they have bad intentions, then it can be too risky, guys. All right, next is I think we're switching to the language part now. So here, their money here, their currency is called pound, British pound, and they call the pound or the money quid. So for example, 20 pound will be 20 quid, QUID, I think. And then for cents or centavos or centimo, they call it pence. Anything below a pound will be pence. 90 pence, 20 pence, 10 pence. You just have to get used to it. You cannot do anything about that. And also for small grocery shops, guys, they don't have delivery. So unlike in Dubai, I was used to calling or getting the WhatsApp number of a mini grocery nearby, and then they will just, deliver the food at the front door, or whatever you ordered at the front door. Doesn't matter how much you ordered. It can be a small piece of butter, it can be like ice cubes, and they can deliver that, no issue. But here it's not an option. You really have to go out. And for me, it's alright, because like I said, I'm working at home and I need to do some walking every now and then, which I like. Sometimes I'm even cleaning the kitchen floor for no reason. I just want to, get some action going on, guys. So I need that walk as well outside. So if you want to buy something, you have to go out. All right. Next is, I was told as well that there are some offers here for grocery items, and they're called reduced items. They may have a yellow tag or red tag or whatever, and there are some timings for that in every shop. So I shop, if it's not in Asta, then I shop in Aldi, or for rice I buy from Tesco. So now I don't really shop for rice that often, because usually I cook food with potatoes or bread. So if you're Asian and you're obsessed with rice, then it will eventually come to an end, I would say, because you might get used to just eating bread or eating baked potatoes instead of rice as an alternative. And I don't see any, I would say, major reason to go back to rice, because potatoes, they're chewy and easy to eat. You don't really have to cook them separately from the meat if you are putting it in the oven or making like a dish with potatoes and meat as well. All right. And also, one thing I was not really aware about was, before coming here, I didn't know that there's a lot of Polish people here, and they might look similar because they are Westerners, but when you start hearing them talking in a different language, then you will start to notice that, oh, okay, they're not from here. Mostly they're working in factories and they're working at grocery stores. Polish people, Romanians, what else? Other Eastern European nation, let's say Bulgaria. I cannot name a lot, but yeah, you will see a lot of foreigners here as well. But mostly in this area where I live, there's a lot of Polish people here. So you're not the only one who are struggling with the language as well. I myself is struggling with the language and with the accent. So shoot me down. Yeah. All right. So in the city where I live, they don't get snow every year. And luckily this year, I was able to experience a snowfall. So I've been to a country before that has a snow, or they get snow on winter season, but not really in the city area. But here, I'm living in a city and it was snowing, and I actually had a video for that I have uploaded, I think, a few months ago. So if you guys want to check that out, just browse through my channel, guys, and then just look for that, my snow experience, where I build a snowman. And it was a little bit challenging because that time I was fairly new to my work, and it was lovely because I had to see the snow up on my window while working, but at the same time I was fairly new, so I had to train myself to be familiar with the tools that we use at work, and I had to get along with my colleagues, and at the same time I am anxious about going out and play in the middle of the winter season. So what I did was I had to wake up early and I had to build a snowman for my niece, send videos to my family back home, and then when the time comes that I have to get back to work, then I had to finish it and then go back on my lunch break and then complete the task and blah blah blah. And it was a lot of fun, guys, and I felt lucky that for many years in this area does not get snowfall, but when I came here it was snowing. So yeah, it was an unforgettable experience for me, guys, so far. All right, next is, so after that snowfall, of course, it was still chilling and cold. And when I went out finally, go to grocery, and I was able to see people, I noticed that the English people, they don't care how cold it is. Of course, they were born here, so they are used to the weather here. And surprisingly, you will be seeing people wearing t-shirts and shorts, even if it's really, really cold outside. And yeah, that was bizarre to me for a little bit, but I'm alright now because, like I said, this is their country, so their body is used to the climate here. Just an observation, not a big deal. And also, I talk about the recycling here, and I cannot stress so much about how serious they are when it comes to recycling materials. We have 3 bins, so it depends on what you request from the council. So we have the blue bin, the black bin, and the brown bin, I would say, for food waste and some plants, and then black bin is for anything, and then the blue bin is for recycling materials. So one thing I can suggest, guys, is if you are not sure or where to throw a specific rubbish, then just read the label on whatever it is. Like it can be a bottle of water, it can be cardboard boxes or whatever. Just read the label, guys. And if you don't see anything, let's say for example, I brought with me some items from my country, and of course if they're not manufactured in England, then of course they will not have that, or they may not have a recycling label on it. So better to just throw them to the black bin. So it's safe to do that, guys, rather than throwing it to the blue bin, and eventually the council guys, when they get to pick up the bin, they will not take it because they will consider that as a contamination. So you have to wait for a week or 2 more weeks to get that picked up, which sucks because, you know, if you are living in a shared house like me, then everybody's throwing rubbish, guys. You cannot avoid that. And if the blue bin isn't picked up, then where will you throw your rubbish? Everybody's eating and everybody's utilizing it. So yeah, it can be a pain, guys, and they're really dead serious about that, and I don't see any problem with it. You just have to follow, guys, because, you know, anyway, it's for the benefit of everybody. All right, so now that I am working, and my colleagues, not all of them are from Hull, which is, you know, the city where I'm at. My manager is even from America. He's from Florida, and he has a different accent as well. And I think 2 of my colleagues, they're from Hull. So I kind of recognize the Hull accent now, because when I receive a call and it's an account, like a local account in the city, then I get to transfer it to them, which is I recognize these days, and also speaking with the neighbors as well. My landlord, he's not from here, so he has a different accent as well. So I kind of have that, I would say, skill of recognizing the Yorkshire accent already as I work with them, and be able to mimic it for a little bit, guys, you know, because one of the challenges that I have is that they don't recognize my accent. And of course, this is the ultimate reason why I brought this mic, because I have this feeling that people don't understand what I say, because again, English is not my first language. So I am really conscious about that, if my English can be easily understood. So overall, I am still transitioning from my old American influence call center accent to a Yorkshire North English call center English accent, if that makes sense. All right. And also, I am a little bit frustrated, guys, when it comes to applying for a bank account. I have applied for a bank account that is not locally based in England. It's a European bank company that I applied for when I came here, just so my employer can have this account to transfer my salary. So I have applied for a local British bank account, and apparently they have asked me to go back, you know, many times just to verify my identity, and I didn't really appreciate it. I didn't realize how hard it was to, you know, open a bank account, like a classic account. So but finally they approved me, and I'm done applying, and then I'm just waiting for my physical card to arrive. All right, so I don't want to talk about that anymore because I am exhausted already. But like I said, it's not as easy as in Dubai or in the Philippines, where if you are employed, it's your employer's responsibility to apply for a bank account. But here, no, you have to do it yourself. All right. So next here is applying for, or for example, if you are going for a GP appointment, I think this is all because of COVID related reason, that if you are sick, you have to call, and then they can call you through a video chat. So you don't really have to go there unless if it's an emergency. So if you are ill, then you might as well just call and expect that, you know, you won't be asked to go there. You just have to, you know, do the consultation over the phone or over a video chat. And I've never tried it, guys, but I tried to call them for like a toothache, and I was told to take some medicine first, and then if eventually if it's gonna be reaching to an emergency situation, then that's when I will be asked to be there at the, the dentist physically. All right. So overall, guys, I can tell that I am pretty much settled here. So it's like I know already what to buy, where to go if I want this piece of equipment, or if I want to go for shopping, I know what brand and where can I get them. So I'm like used to the lifestyle here so far. And like I said, it will be my 6th month next month in a few days, because today is the 26th of May, and I cannot complain so much, guys. I mean, of course, I cannot live my life the way I used to live it when I was in Dubai, because first of all, that's another country. And here, it's like life-changing, but at the same time, I do have to adapt. I saw a video as well about if you are in another country, you have to try to cook their food so that you can save money as well. Because trust me, guys, if you keep on buying Asian food, then it's gonna actually cost you a lot. All right, I'm telling you that because I myself, I've been to random Asian shops, and whenever I go out, I always spend at least 20 pounds, and that's a lot of money for like small pieces of Asian products which you don't eat every day, you know what I mean? So yeah, my suggestion is to try to get along, which is what I'm doing right now, and try to adapt and accept the reality that you are in England, and you can look back to where you're from, but don't stay there, just face the reality, and that's gonna take you somewhere down the road, I would say. Alright guys, so that's about it for today's episode of my UK observation video. Like I said, every experience is different, and I cannot compare my experience with your experience. At the end of the day, guys, what's most important is that we are gonna learn from each other's experiences, I would say. Alright guys, so that's about it for today's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and like I said, every experience is different. My experience might be different from your experience, but then again, just sharing with you guys how I cope up with the anxiety and all those questions that I have in mind, and all these weird observations that I have in mind, guys. Nothing major really, so you just have to camouflage, I would say, and get along, and that's how you survive your life if you are in another country. Alright guys, so thank you very much for watching this video, and for you to reach this part, I really appreciate that. If you have any observation video as well that you want to suggest, please comment down below. Or if you have any reaction to this, or if you think that I need help at some point, then don't hesitate to give a shout, guys. The comment section down below, it's free, you can just put whatever you want there, and if you need my attention or if you need my help as well, then I can reply to that easily. Alright, so if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And if you want to be the next one to know more about my next upload, then just hit the notification bell, and I will see you on my next upload. Talk to you soon, guys. Bye.